In a world that's constantly shouting, "Look at me," the real achievers are whispering, "Watch what I do." Everywhere you look, people are chasing attention, posting, performing, and pretending, trying to convince others that they're successful. But the truth, my friend, is hidden behind the curtains. Real success isn't loud. It doesn't demand applause. It doesn't seek validation. It is calm, quiet, and deeply personal. Those who truly make it in life are not the ones constantly showing off their progress. They are the ones who disappear for months, even years, working on their dreams in complete silence. When the world parties, they practice. When others waste time talking, they invest time building. And when the moment arrives, when the results finally surface, the same world that once ignored them now celebrates them. That's the philosophy of life. Win in public, but work in private. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Instant Success. Today's generation is hypnotized by the illusion of overnight success. Everywhere you look, on social media, in short clips, in glossy success stories, you're told that greatness is just one viral post away, that fame, wealth, and respect can come instantly, almost magically, without the pain of the process. We scroll through our feeds and see smiling faces, luxurious lifestyles, and perfectly framed victories, and slowly, without realizing it, we start believing that success is supposed to be easy, fast, and effortless. But the truth, my friend, is very different, brutally different. Every so-called overnight success you see has years, sometimes decades, of invisible struggle hidden beneath it. Think about a mountain. When you stand before it, your eyes naturally go to the peak, tall, strong, majestic, touching the sky. It looks unshakable, almost divine. But what you don't see are the roots beneath. The enormous foundation buried deep in the earth, gripping tightly through years of storms, winds, and erosion. That hidden strength is what allows the mountain to stand tall, unbroken. Success is no different. People only see your mountaintop moments, the fame, the awards, the applause, the confidence you now carry. But what they never see are your storms. The nights when you sat alone, questioning everything. The mornings when your body ached, your mind screamed to quit, but you still got up and tried again. The heartbreaks you endured quietly, the failures you buried deep inside, the rejections that tore you apart. Yet you kept going, unseen, uncelebrated. The illusion of success is shiny, beautiful, and comforting. It tells you that the journey can be short, that it doesn't have to hurt. But the truth of success, oh, it's rough, it's demanding, it's painfully lonely. It asks everything from you: your time, your energy, your peace, your sleep, and sometimes even your relationships. It will test your patience, break your ego, and humble your spirit before it ever rewards you. And that's why real winners don't chase attention, they chase mastery. Because they understand something most people never do. Attention fades, but mastery lasts forever. They're not distracted by noise, they're not addicted to applause, they're obsessed with improvement. They work quietly, patiently, relentlessly, polishing their craft, refining their mind, and building their strength brick by brick. Because they know, once you master the process, success doesn't need to be chased. It begins to chase you. Chapter 2. The Power of the Quiet Grind. The quiet grind. That's where heroes are truly made. It's the invisible battlefield between who you are and who you're meant to become. It's that hidden space between your dreams and your results, a space no one sees, no one celebrates, and no one claps for. In that silence, you stand alone with your goals, your fears, and your determination. There are no cheering crowds, no applause, no recognition. Just you, facing your doubts, wrestling with your weaknesses, and choosing again and again not to give up. That's the birthplace of champions. That's where greatness is forged, not under bright lights, but in the shadows where effort meets endurance. Imagine an athlete waking up at 4 a.m., long before the world even stirs. Outside, the city still sleeps. The sky is painted in darkness. There's no camera capturing the moment, no fan shouting their name, only the sound of slow, steady footsteps hitting the cold ground. Each step echoes a promise to the future self. The air is heavy with silence, yet that silence carries power. The athlete's lungs burn, sweat drips down their face, their muscles ache in protest, but they keep moving. Because somewhere deep inside, they know that every ounce of pain today is building the strength they'll need tomorrow. Every drop of sweat is not wasted, it's an investment. Every breath of exhaustion is a whisper to destiny. I'm coming for you. That's the essence of the quiet grind. It's not glamorous. It's not easy. It's not something you can post about. It's lonely, repetitive, and brutally honest. It strips you down, exposes your weaknesses, and asks, "Do you really want this?" And when you answer yes, it tests you again, harder this time. The quiet grind doesn't reward you instantly. It demands consistency when motivation fades. It demands belief when results are invisible. It teaches you to stand on your own feet when support disappears, to trust your process when the world doubts your path, and to keep walking even when progress feels painfully slow. But something magical happens there, in the dark. You start to change. Your body toughens, your mind sharpens, and your spirit hardens. You begin to rely on your own strength instead of external approval. You stop waiting for permission to be great. You stop caring about who's watching because you know the real competition is the person you were yesterday. And then, one day, the lights come on. The world finally sees you. They see your confidence, your success, your overnight transformation, and they call you lucky. They say, "You made it so easily." But you'll smile, not with arrogance, but with quiet knowing. Because you'll remember the mornings you dragged yourself out of bed while the world slept. You'll remember the days you worked with no recognition, the nights you kept going when no one believed in you. You'll remember the grind, the lonely, unseen, sacred grind that built you into who you are. Luck? No, you know better. Luck had nothing to do with it. You earned it. You earned it in silence. You earned it in sweat. You earned it in pain. You earned it in the dark, when no one was watching. Chapter 3. The Sacred Power of Silence. There is something sacred about silence, something pure, powerful, and profoundly transformative. It's not emptiness, it's space. The kind of space that allows life to breathe again, the kind of space that allows your mind to heal, your heart to listen, and your soul to speak. In silence, the world slows down, the chaos fades, and what's left is you, the real you. The one hidden beneath the noise, the expectations, the constant rush to be seen. Silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of understanding. It is the gentle reminder that you don't always need to do more. Sometimes you just need to be. In those quiet moments, something beautiful happens. Your thoughts begin to clear, like dust settling after a storm. The emotions that once screamed inside your chest begin to calm. The confusion that clouded your path starts to fade, and a subtle clarity begins to glow within you. In silence, you stop reacting to the noise of the world and start responding to the whisper of your own intuition. You stop chasing validation and start embracing truth. You begin to see life not for what others expect of you, but for what your heart truly desires. But the world, oh, the world will fight for your attention. It will tempt you with noise, endless distractions, glowing screens, constant opinions, and judgments that never seem to stop. Everyone will try to tell you who to be, what to want, and how to live. They'll fill your mind with doubts and comparisons, until your own voice becomes barely audible beneath the noise. But silence, true, intentional silence, cuts through all that chaos. It becomes your shield, your sanctuary, your safe space. In silence, you stop performing for others and start preparing for yourself. You stop living for applause and start living for purpose. You stop looking outward for answers and finally start looking inward. It's in those silent nights, when the world is asleep, the sky is dark, and the only sound is your heartbeat, that magic happens. That's when your greatest ideas are born. That's when your deepest realizations take shape. In that sacred stillness, your inner voice grows louder, clearer, more certain. It begins to whisper truths that your busy mind could never hear in the daylight. Keep going. Trust yourself. You're not lost. You're evolving. And when you listen, truly listen, you begin to feel something extraordinary. Power. Not the loud, aggressive kind the world praises, but a quiet, grounded power that no one can take from you. The kind of power that doesn't need to shout to be heard. The kind of power that moves mountains through calm conviction, not chaos. Silence isn't weakness. It's strength. It's peace. It's unshakable confidence wrapped in calmness. In silence, you rediscover yourself. You rebuild your spirit. You recharge your purpose. And when you finally return to the noise of the world, you walk differently, slower, steadier, stronger, because now you carry the voice of your soul within you, and nothing can silence that again. Chapter 4. Discipline, the art of invisible consistency. Discipline. It is the heartbeat of every silent achiever, the steady rhythm that keeps your dream alive when everything else falls apart. It's not glamorous. It's not something you can show off or capture in a photograph. You can't post it on social media or brag about it in conversation. Discipline lives quietly, in the background, where nobody's watching, nobody's clapping, and nobody's praising. It's what remains when motivation fades, when excitement dies, and when all that's left is the grind, the routine, the effort that no one but you will ever see. Discipline is waking up before the world does, not because someone told you to, but because your dream won't let you sleep. It's dragging yourself out of bed when your body begs for comfort, but your spirit demands progress. It's choosing focus over distraction, purpose over pleasure, and consistency over convenience. It's the moment you silence every excuse and remind yourself, I started for a reason, and I'm not stopping now. That's what separates dreamers from doers, the discipline to keep going even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when no one else understands why you're doing it. Behind every success story, behind every person you admire, there's a quiet story of discipline that the world never gets to see. There's a writer who sits at a lonely desk, typing words that feel meaningless, doubting every sentence, yet refusing to give up. There's a musician who plays the same note hundreds of times, bleeding fingers and tired eyes, until it sounds just right. There's an entrepreneur staring at a blank screen at 2 a.m., uncertain if their dream will ever work, yet still choosing to push one more hour, one more idea, one more try. That's what discipline looks like. It's not loud, it's not dramatic. It's quiet, patient, invisible, but deeply transformative. It changes who you are from the inside out. It molds your character, reshapes your habits, and redefines your limits. It's not about being perfect every day. It's about showing up every day, no matter what. Discipline whispers to you in moments of weakness, saying, just one more step, just one more try. Don't stop now. You see, motivation will come and go like the tide. It rises when things feel good and fades when challenges appear. But discipline is the anchor. It's what keeps you steady in the storm. It's what carries you through the moments when inspiration disappears and life feels heavy. Discipline is love in its truest form, love for your dream, your growth, and your future self. And that's why the most successful people in the world are not the most talented. They're the most disciplined. Because talent may open the door, but discipline keeps you walking through it, day after day, until the dream becomes real. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence, about showing up again and again, even when your heart is tired and your hands are shaking. Because one day, all those quiet moments of discipline, those unseen hours and silent efforts, will turn into something magnificent. And when that day comes, you'll realize discipline was never your burden. It was your greatest gift. Chapter 5. Patience, the forgotten virtue. We live in an age of speed, where everything around us is designed to be instant. Instant meals, instant messages, instant gratification. We scroll through life like it's a highlight reel, always chasing the next dopamine hit, the next success story, the next shiny reward. We've become so addicted to speed that we've forgotten the beauty of patience, the quiet, steady heartbeat of real growth. But the truth is, the things that truly matter, mastery, purpose, greatness, they don't rush. They unfold, slowly, gracefully, in their own divine timing. Patience is not laziness. It's not waiting idly for something to happen. Patience is active faith. It's the bridge between your effort and your results. It's the art of trusting the process even when you can't see the outcome. Imagine planting a seed, a small, fragile thing buried deep under the soil. You don't dig it up the next morning to check if it's growing. You water it, you nurture it. You trust that beneath the surface, something miraculous is taking place. That seed, though invisible for now, is preparing to break through the earth. That's what patience is. The quiet confidence that your hard work is not in vain, even when nothing seems to be happening. Your dreams are just like that seed. You may be working day and night, giving your all, yet seeing no results. The world may question you, doubt you, even mock you. But patience whispers, keep going. The roots are growing, even if you can't see them. Every hour you invest, every small step you take, every failure you recover from, it all counts. It's all building something beneath the surface that will one day rise and take shape before your eyes. Every great story has a silent chapter, a long, painful stretch where nothing seems to move, where everything feels stuck. It's the part of the journey most people give up on. But that stillness, that's where the real growth happens. The roots are spreading. The foundation is strengthening. The dream is preparing for its moment of bloom. It's just that growth doesn't always announce itself with noise. Sometimes it happens quietly, patiently, in the shadows. And then, one day, seemingly out of nowhere, everything changes. You wake up and realize the dream you once only imagined has become your reality. The world looks at you and calls it overnight success. They see the bloom, the fame, the recognition, the glory. But they don't see the years you spent underground, nurturing the roots of your purpose. They don't see the nights of doubt, the mornings of determination, or the endless patience it took to hold on when nothing seemed to work. But you'll know it wasn't luck, it wasn't magic, it was patience, steady, unshakable, faithful patience, the kind that doesn't demand instant results, but trusts the timing of life. Because greatness isn't built in a day, it's built in days that feel like forever. So don't rush the process. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Trust your own pace. Every seed has its season, and your season will come too. Just keep watering it with effort, faith, and patience, because when it finally blooms, when your moment arrives, it'll be worth every second of waiting. Chapter 6. Escaping the Trap of Public Validation. One of the greatest dangers of modern success is the addiction to validation. We've become prisoners of approval, trapped in a world where our worth is measured not by who we truly are, but by how many people click a heart on a screen. We crave recognition, not fulfillment. We chase applause, not progress. And slowly, without even realizing it, we start building our lives around the opinions of others. But here's the brutal truth. Validation is a drug. It feels good in the moment. It gives you a rush. It makes you feel seen. But just like any drug, it fades. And when it fades, it leaves you emptier than before. Because every time you depend on external approval, you weaken your internal power. You see, when you seek constant approval, you lose your authenticity, piece by piece. You stop doing things out of passion and start doing them for attention. You stop creating what your soul wants to express and start creating what the crowd wants to consume. And that's when the tragedy begins. Your voice becomes an echo of everyone else's noise. You stop being the artist of your destiny and become a performer in someone else's show. The saddest part? You won't even notice when it happens. You'll think you're growing, but really, you're drifting, further and further away from your truth. The real winners of life understand this. They don't crave the spotlight. They crave progress. They don't post every move. They perfect every move. They don't broadcast their journey. They build it, quietly, patiently, brick by brick. Because they know that every time you talk about your dream too soon, you dilute its power. Every time you seek applause before the masterpiece is ready, you scatter your focus. And focus, once broken, is hard to reclaim. Silence. That's where true strength hides. Silence protects your vision. It shelters your ideas from noise, from judgment, from premature criticism. It's in that sacred silence that clarity grows. You begin to understand that your dream doesn't need to be seen. It needs to be built. You realize that success doesn't come from attention, but from intention. So stop announcing your plans. Stop explaining your every move. The world doesn't need to know what you're going to do. Let your results speak for you, loudly, powerfully, undeniably. Because there is nothing more commanding, more humbling, and more inspiring than the quiet arrival of undeniable success. When you walk into a room and your work speaks before you do, that's power. When people don't remember your words, but they remember your impact, that's greatness. And when you no longer need anyone to tell you that you're enough, that's freedom. True validation doesn't come from others. It comes from within. From the peace of knowing that you stayed true to your purpose, even when no one noticed, even when no one clapped. Because one day, the same world that ignored your silence will stand in awe of your success. And in that moment, you'll smile. Not because they finally see you, but because you never stopped believing in yourself, even when they didn't. Chapter 7. The Season of Transformation. Every great person, every soul who has ever risen to greatness, has gone through a sacred season of transformation. A season where they step away from the noise of the world, not because they're lost, but because they're preparing. From the outside, it might look like isolation, like they've vanished, disappeared, gone quiet. But inside, something powerful is happening. The silence is not emptiness. It's rebirth in motion. It's preparation for something far greater than what the eyes can see. During this phase, everything changes. They begin to shed the layers of who they once were, the toxic habits that slowed them down, the distractions that stole their focus, the people who drained their energy but never poured anything back. It's not an easy process. Letting go never is. You'll feel pain, deep, aching pain, because growth always requires sacrifice. You'll question yourself. You'll feel lonely, uncertain, even broken. But remember this, transformation always begins in the dark. It's just like a caterpillar retreating into its cocoon. From the outside, it appears lifeless, still, trapped, forgotten. But inside that fragile shell, a miracle is unfolding. The caterpillar is dissolving, reshaping, rebuilding, transforming into something entirely new. It's not dying, it's becoming. And when it finally breaks free, it doesn't crawl anymore. It flies. That's the power of silence. That's the magic of isolation. It's not punishment. It's preparation. It's nature's way of reshaping you for the sky that awaits. Your own cocoon, your quiet season, may feel like suffocation sometimes. You'll wonder why things aren't happening, why you're alone, why life feels so still. But what you don't realize is that your roots are strengthening, your vision is sharpening, and your soul is aligning with its higher calling. You're not falling behind, you're forming the wings you'll need to soar. So if you find yourself in that dark, silent phase right now, don't rush it, don't fight it, don't doubt it. Darkness is not your ending, it's your evolution. You are being refined by struggle, reshaped by solitude, and reborn through patience. One day, the same silence that once made you feel invisible will become your greatest source of power. And when you finally emerge, when you step back into the light, the world will be speechless, because they'll see the wings you built in the dark. That's what transformation truly is: painful, lonely, and silent, yet absolutely beautiful. You suffer in silence now, so you can shine in strength later. The darkness you're in is not your downfall. It's the beginning of your flight. Chapter 8. When the world finally notices. And then one day, the moment arrives, the moment you've dreamed of in silence, the moment that makes all the struggle, all the pain, all the sleepless nights suddenly make sense. The world finally notices. People begin to applaud. They call your name. They celebrate your overnight success. They say things like, "You're gifted, you're lucky, you were born for this." They see the glow, but they don't see the grind. They see the victory, but not the countless silent battles you fought to earn it. As the cameras flash and the cheers rise around you, you'll smile. Not out of pride, but out of quiet knowing, because deep down, in the stillness of your heart, you'll remember every single moment that brought you here. You'll remember the nights when exhaustion felt heavier than hope. The mornings when you dragged yourself out of bed with nothing but faith holding you together. You'll remember the rejections, the heartbreaks, the failures that almost broke you, but didn't. Every tear that fell in the dark was a seed, and now the world is witnessing the bloom. You'll look around at the applause and realize this moment didn't come from luck. It came from the hours no one saw, from the discipline you built when motivation was gone, from the patience you practiced when results were invisible, from the silence you embraced when the noise of the world tried to pull you away. You earned every bit of it, every victory, every compliment, every breath of peace. That's when you'll finally understand. The silence was never punishment. It was preparation. Every delay, every dark day, every lonely night was shaping you into the person who could carry this success with grace. The world sees the light, but only you know it was born from your darkness, from the pain you endured, the battles you fought, and the resilience you built when no one believed in you. You worked in private so you could win in public. You stayed faithful to your purpose even when no one clapped. You believed when belief felt impossible. And that's why you stand here now, not as someone who was handed greatness, but as someone who became it. And the beauty of it all? Now your story becomes the spark for someone else's journey. Your light, the one forged in darkness, becomes a beacon for those still walking through theirs. They'll see your success, but what they'll truly feel is your strength. Because real inspiration doesn't come from perfection, it comes from perseverance. So let them clap, let them call you lucky. You'll just smile, because you know the truth. You know what it cost. You know where you came from. You know the fire that built you. And in that quiet moment, as the noise fades, you'll whisper to yourself, it was all worth it. Because you didn't just win in public, you conquered in private. And the world will never forget the light that was once born in silence. Chapter 9. The Legacy of the Silent Achievers. History has a way of remembering those who let their work speak louder than their words. The ones who didn't chase the spotlight, but became the light. The ones who weren't hungry for attention, but were devoted to their purpose. Look at Einstein. He wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing truth. While the world sought recognition, he sought understanding. His equations weren't written for applause, but for discovery. And yet, the world could not help but notice his brilliance. Steve Jobs, a man obsessed not with followers, but with perfection. While others sought validation, he sought vision. He disappeared into his work, driven by the belief that simplicity was the ultimate sophistication. Every late night, every idea, every failure refined him, until his creations spoke louder than any speech he could give. He didn't need to tell the world who he was. His work did that for him. And Serena Williams, she didn't flood the world with glimpses of her practice, her sweat, or her sacrifice. No, she stayed focused, grounded, disciplined. When the world saw her, it was never during her preparation, but during her triumph. Her trophies became her words, her performance became her proof, her silence became her strength. Every legend, every icon, every game-changer has shared one sacred truth. Their journey was invisible long before it became unforgettable. They spent years out of sight, building, bleeding, breaking, becoming. They worked in silence while the world slept. They trained when no one watched. They dreamed when no one believed. And when their time came, when they finally stepped into the light, their greatness spoke for itself. They didn't need noise to become great. Their greatness created the noise. And that can be your story too, if you're brave enough to trust the silence. If you can learn to believe in your process, even when no one sees it. If you can choose patience over praise, purpose over popularity, and vision over validation. Because the truth is, greatness doesn't need an audience. It needs faith. Your silence is not your weakness. It's your incubation. It's the sacred space where your potential breathes and your destiny takes shape. Don't rush it. Don't fear it. Embrace it. Because one day when your moment comes, when your work finally meets the world, they'll call it magic. They'll call it destiny. But you'll know it was silence, your silence, that made you unstoppable. Chapter 10. The final message, your time will come. If you're listening to this right now and you're in that quiet phase, working hard, seeing no results, doubting yourself, hear me out. You are not lost. You are becoming. You're not failing. You're forming. And one day when your time arrives, everything will make sense. So keep working, keep building, keep believing, even if nobody understands you right now. Because your silence is not your weakness. It's your shield. It's your strength. When you work in private, you protect your dream. And when the time is right, you'll win in public, effortlessly, gracefully, powerfully. Your story is still being written. Don't rush it. The world will see your light when it's ready. But until then, keep shining quietly within yourself. Because one day your silence will become the loudest roar of success the world has ever heard.